there, beauties. Welcome back to my channel, A Fit Life Center. Go lay down, Kairos. Go lay down. Every time oh, you see him? There's Kairos. Go lay down. Go ahead, go lay down. Every time I sit down, if he's in the house, he comes to stand guard. He's so sweet. I love that dog so much. But anyway, welcome back to my channel, A Fit Life Center, where I teach you small coping strategies to help you either begin, continue, or maintain a life that's fit for you. And you know the deal, a life that's fit for you requires a bit of willingness to take a journey of discovery to find out what things support you and what things you might have to consider eliminating. My name is Sharon. I am a licensed clinical social worker, and I've been working for a long time helping people with anxiety, depression, and specialized in trauma. But these days, I focus on wellness because, as I tell you every week, most people can get through a situation, but they're not sure how to create wellness and maintain it in their lives, right? It's like they slip up on something that makes them feel good. They think it was an accident. They don't keep it up, and then life becomes a struggle. If you think I can help you, please check out my website, afitlifecenter.com, where I offer therapy if you live in Arizona, and wellness coaching. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, we can do it virtually. All right, so what are we talking about today? Well, as you see, I am still on my house sit, and you just saw Kairos, and you might hear some pitter-patter in the background. That's them just walking around doing their thing. But anyway, today I wanted to talk to us about emotional intelligence, because one of the things that I find in my work is that people are afraid of their emotions, that they're going to be overrun by them, not be able to handle them. I've heard people tell me they're going to go crazy, all the things, right? Because emotions can be intense, right? And they can feel overwhelming, but they also provide information. So we're going to talk about what emotional intelligence is and how it can be an ally instead of a foe, right? All right, so what is emotional intelligence? You're gonna see me looking down because my laptop is on my lap with my notes on it, making sure I'm giving you the right definition. Here comes Kairos again. So, emotional intelligence refers to the ability to identify and manage one's own emotions. Kairos, don't knock over the camera. Go lay down. Go lay down. Kairos, no. Go lay down. Go lay down. All right, emotional intelligence is the ability to identify and manage one's own emotions as well as the emotions of others. Emotional intelligence is generally said to include a few skills, namely emotional awareness, or the ability to identify and name one's own emotions. The ability to harness those emotions and apply them to tasks like thinking and problem solving, and the ability to manage emotions, which includes regulating one's own emotions when necessary and helping others to do the same. So it's a lot, right? The first part is we need to be able to identify our own emotions. What are you feeling? Happy, sad, glad, mad, shame, guilt? Right? And to manage them so that they don't overwhelm you, right? When you start to notice something, it's a good time to take a pause, right? The other part of this definition says, when we learn how to manage our own emotions, sometimes, if people are willing, you can help them manage theirs as well. A lot of the times, that's what I do, right? So we get into it a little more. The theory of emotional intelligence was introduced by a guy named Peter Salovey, hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right, and John D. Mayer in the 1990s. And then it was further studied by Daniel Goleman, right? And they have a concept known as emotional quotient, right? There's a lot of arguments. I'm not going to get into what all of that is, right? But there's a lot of arguments that it's hard to objectively quantify emotions, right? How do you do it objectively when so much of it is subjective, right? And I tend to lean to that side a little bit more because normally when I'm working with people, they can identify an emotion, but there are so many complexities and things to it that I do think it might be a little bit hard to just hand somebody like some kind of psychometric test and see if they, how much they have emotional intelligence, right? What is your quotient? Because that's all that means. Emotional quotient. How much emotional intelligence do you have, right? I don't know. I kind of lean on the side of maybe you can't just easily give somebody some kind of assessment test to figure that out. So, a high emotional quotient or highly emotional intelligent people, they focus or they're conscious of their own emotions, even the negative ones, from frustration to sadness, right? And they are able to identify them on a subtle level. This is important because if you can identify your emotions on a smaller level, like you just starting to feel something, it is much easier to manage it rather than when you have to wait till it gets really high before that emotion kind of shakes you awake and gets your attention. So the studies have found that people with high emotional intelligence have a high level of self-confidence and are realistic about themselves, right? They know what they can and cannot manage. When they do things, they feel more confident about it because they believe that they can manage their emotion. A person with high emotional intelligence usually are not impulsive or hasty with their actions. And the reason for that is because before they make a move, they usually are checking in with themselves. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling that way, right? Is there something that I actually need to do or change in my environment that might not be working for me? Or do I need to chill for a sec and start to do some what we call emotion regulation skills? That's where you learn how to manage an emotion that you feel or reduce it if it's not helping you in the moment. Let me give you an example. So I'm here in California and I was driving out. I wanted to go to a lavender farm. I get on the freeway to go to the lavender farm. The first thing happened is I took a wrong exit, right? Happens, right? So at first I was like, no problem, I'll just get back on, turn around. Well, I don't quite understand the California highways. It's not so easy to just get off and get back on. Like it's a whole situation, right? So it kept taking me further and further and further away from where I wanted to be. I started to feel irritable, which I happen to know is low-grade anxiety. And so because I recognized that, I was able to manage my anxiety so that I could get back on the right road, right? The right freeway, right? So I got that done. And then shortly afterwards, I mean like moments afterwards, I got a call that I had to manage a little bit of an emergency that was happening with one of my family members. And at that moment, because I had managed my anxiety a few moments ago, I was able to make the decision that I need to pull off the road and deal with this because there was no way I was going to be able to focus on getting to where I wanted to go and deal with this situation, right? So because I was able to manage that, I was also able to help the other person that I was dealing with cope with the minor emergency that they were dealing. So that is an example. How do you cultivate it, right? So I first told you, you have to start by learning how to identify your own emotions that you're feeling and understand them. I use mindfulness to help me with that, right? So when I start to feel something that doesn't quite feel, sometimes it doesn't feel insane. And sometimes, I'm going to tell you, sometimes I get emotions where they feel really good and they give me a hunch to keep going in the right direction, right? I use mindfulness. So I will sit and I will sometimes close my eyes or just kind of like soften my gaze a little bit, and I will just start breathing in and out of the nose. When I do that, the emotion at first will come up, right? I will feel it in its fullness, right? What is it? And eventually, within a moment or two, I will be able to name it. Peace, contentment, sadness, frustration, irritability. First thing. And then I check in my body. Where do I feel that? Do I feel it in my chest? Does my chest feel tight? Does my throat feel tight? Are my muscles clenching, right? Do I feel the urge to want to cry? Do I feel the urge to want to smile and be joyous, right? And then I check in to see if there's something going on in my life that might be triggering me to feel that way, right? Could be a difficult day, a difficult conversation, a really nice yoga session. I had that the other day. I was practicing yoga and just breathing in and breathing out. And man, it was so freaking peaceful, right? That I had to just sit in meditation for a moment and just kind of like revel in that feeling, right? So that I'm able to understand what is going on that might be associated with that emotion, right? If I notice I'm really starting to feel a bit, I don't know, overwhelmed or frustrated, right? Then I have to think about, what do I need to regulate that emotion? If I am working on a task and the thing is getting on my nerves, maybe I need to fall back for a second and chill, right? Go outside, get some fresh air, take a walk, listen to some music. I have a playlist on Spotify that I call Songs That I Love. Anytime that I am not feeling it, I will put that playlist on, and usually by the fourth or fifth song, it helps to regulate my mood, right? And then once my mood has shifted a little bit, it doesn't have to completely go away. If I'm feeling irritable, I'm not trying to get it to zero, right? I'm just trying to get it down a little bit, right? Where my judgment now can help. The rational, reasonable side of my brain can kick in and be like, girl, what you need to do? Do I need to get somebody help? This is out of my league, right? Let me give you an example of that. So, I'm house sitting. The handle on the front door came off, and I was like, oh my God, right? What do I do, right? Because I can't leave this beautiful person's house unsecured, right? If you know me, my daughter, if she sees this video, she's probably somewhere laughing. I am so not mechanical at all. My daughter and my husband are super mechanical. They can almost fix anything, right? I can't. So I was like, what do I do? First, I felt a little anxious because I didn't want to break the lady house, right? So when I calmed myself down for a second and sat down and chilled for a minute and let that anxiety subside a little bit, I just drank some water, watched some YouTube videos, I think is what I did, right? Once I did that, very shortly afterwards, I was like, I'm just going to call TaskRabbit and have somebody come out and fix it. I got on my phone, they came out, they did their thing, they fixed it, it didn't cost that much, problem solved. But in the moment when the handle fell off and the anxiety rose, I couldn't think straight, right? I started trying to put the handle back on. I know that's not my thing. Hi, Kairos. Go lay down. Go lay down. I know that's not my thing, right? So I had to get some help with it, and that was okay. So you can learn to be emotionally intelligent. And once you do, it helps you to regulate your own emotions so that you don't feel overwhelmed by them. And here's the deal, then you can get the information that they're coming, because right, understanding the emotion, understanding what might be causing you to feel that way is information. That's why when you push your emotions away and you don't take the time to get the information, those emotions just keep circling back, right? Circling back, because emotions are intelligent. They will not let you cheat. You can push them away if you want to, and sometimes it's okay to do that. But best believe they're going to come back because they have a message to deliver to you and they want you to get it. So, just a little, I told you, I teach you small coping strategies to help you, right? Because when you are trying to live a life that's fit for you, you are sometimes going to come up against things that are going to stress you out. They're going to make you feel anxious, right? They're going to make you think you can't do it. But if you can learn how to chill for a second, breathe until that emotion delivers the message, you can decide what you want to do about it. You can keep going. You can keep going. Because emotions come to give you information and then they come to peace out. They don't come to stay. They only stay when you keep ignoring them and not getting the information they come to deliver. I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you learned something today. And most of all, I hope you have a life that's fit for you. See you later.